Coach Glenn, Fife, Deerfield. Listen, you've been out for 6 years?
Yes, going to my 7th year next year, the head coach.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You didn't grow up a football player, did you?
No, I played. I played some little league ball, but basketball was my passion. So I
Right.
kind of did my thing on the hardwood and kind of missed the boat. So now I'm into saving any other basketball players, unsized basketball players. I save them by the dozens. We do great things with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why you say you do things different? What is it different about what y'all doing at Deerfield?
Because it's not just football. A lot of places that it's football or bust. So we're gonna make sure we're giving these young men. If all we gave you was football, if you were part of the Deerfield Beach program, then we've shortchanged you, your family, and your potential.
Right. So
we want to make sure that we touch on everything. It's life. It's an open door policy, and then the walls of our program extend far beyond the location of our school.
Right.
So we have young men all across the country, and if some days they need Coach Glenn, they need some love, whether it's in person, over the phone, over Zoom, by any means necessary, we're gonna make sure that we're fulfilling our commitment to them for the rest of their lives being Beach Boys.
See, you talk kind of fast, right? But we ain't gonna let you ramble over that, dog. You just said if you got kids all over the nation, cause you've put maybe 100 kids in the college, maybe 100 in 6 years, right?
Yes.
And they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you're saying that when they leave you, they still your kids.
Still my kids. Still, that's for life.
And you just said if they need Coach Glenn in person, what happens?
It's called a pull-up tour.
Talk to me.
So that's one of the things. One of my defensive back coach Grant, we were talking to one of our guys at App State, and this was early in the pandemic. So this kid's dealing with the pandemic, being away from home, no football. So in his mind, his world is crashing. And we were just on a 3-way call, Coach Gray, myself, and the kid. And after we hung up the phone, Coach Gray called me immediately and was like, "Coach, man, he ain't sound right. He sound like he was, just broken mentally, or he was starting to break."
Right.
And then, we were just thinking like, what we could do. And I'm like, man, you know what? I'm about to call the principal and tell him I ain't gonna be there tomorrow. I'm about to go. So I just went, and then when I went in, just to go talk to the young man, and believe it or not, it was more not a huge conversation, more of a seeing me and being relief, hug, tell him I love him, and develop a plan, for him to get through the pandemic. Give you some tools you can use to help you get through this thing, because we all struggling.
Right.
And then invited him to kind of join our fight, because we all fighting to try to figure this whole pandemic thing out.
Right.
And then so now that started with Zoom calls, and then now you get other kids calling because they he told them, yeah man, Coach Glenn came to see me. So then that went from there to I was in the JUCOs in Kansas, I was in Pitt, I was in Maryland, I was everywhere. So it's a passion, man. So it's not it's not something hard for me to do. It's if they need me, I'm coming. And the way we develop in our program, those guys know if they need me, I'm coming, and I know from our relationship if I need them, they're coming too.
Yeah.
So
you get there and you get there and it's more like emotional. Coach Glenn here, you could talk them through because they're kids, man.
Yeah, they're kids.
And they get to college, and that's what people don't realize. They get to college, and now sometimes they're coached by people who don't look like them.
Yeah.
Who it's a business to them because the money's so high, and it's the first time they're not starting, and a lot of them don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
And then you get on the plane and you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the plane, man. I remember dropping off of the plane in Kansas City, Missouri, getting in my rental car, going through the Kansas JUCO circuit, and the radio didn't work for 2 hours. I was counting cows going from JUCO to JUCO. So when I got to those kids, I said, y'all got to get it right, because the coach can't come back out here now.
You by yourself?
Right, by myself.
But no, man, listen, that's I've never heard of a coach doing that. Not a high school coach doing that, because that's all on your dime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all on your dime. But you're doing it for the kids because some of our kids come from such broken places, though. College can't cure it.
No.
Being fast, jumping high can't cure it, and we do need that.
Yeah.
That camaraderie, that team, and to know that somebody, because they always think they the first ones to go through these things they're going through. Listen, let me tell y'all kids this, man. Whatever y'all going through, dog, we done went through 5, 6, 7 times.
It's just y'all turn.
Right.
Young men, young women, it's just y'all turn.
They always, man, I had a kid tell me one time, man, you wouldn't understand. You think I grew up at?
Yeah.
What do you mean I wouldn't understand?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, so you call it the college, what you call it?
Pull-up tour.
The pull-up tour.
Yeah.
And is it always just you, or you got a team of people sometimes? Is it you?
Because a lot of my guys, they don't have the freedom to be able to move the way I move. So it could be spur of the moment. It could be somebody call me now. If it's that rough, I got to go. So a lot of times I just move. But we've got some other guys in the building where I can send them maybe to go see a kid if their schedule permits, because I want to being a great leader, like you're supposed to be able to develop other great leaders. So like if today I'd say, you know what, no more coaching at Deerfield. Deerfield's not supposed to crash and burn. You know, I mean, I didn't really do a good job. It was a facade.
I heard that before.
So you know what I'm saying.
I heard that before. Nah, man, that's awesome. That's one of the main things I wanted to get out there, for people to see that your passion for the kids and it's bigger than football.
Most definitely.
It's something that you made part of your life.
Yeah.
Like you said, your family get involved. Everybody got to get involved. That's awesome. So listen, man, let's get into when you lost Bryce Gowdy. Like, what did that do? Like, what did that do to your program, or what did that do to you?
Man, it sent us in a worldwide to the point where, you know, just me personally, still feeling some of the ramifications of, you know what I'm saying, just his loss, the impact, you know, that he made. Just mention his name, give me chill bumps.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, we were out on college tour this summer, and as we get into the Atlanta area, we're going to visit Georgia Tech, and I got my guards riding in the front seat with me in the van, Big A, and, you know, I'm trying to keep myself together, but in my mind, I'm thinking, you know, I'm supposed to be, you know, because we get to college, we go to Miami, we go see Rooster, we go see X, we get the embrace, we get the, you know, get the family back together, and pulling up at Georgia Tech, knowing that, you know, he's not going to be there, but he's supposed to be there. You know, that kind of took me some way emotionally. I had to take a couple of minutes to kind of gather myself.
Right.
And you know, we got into the team meeting room, and I definitely want to say this publicly because I told the guys at Georgia Tech that. But Coach Collins, Coach Dixon, Coach Coleman, those guys at Georgia Tech, man, they did an amazing job, you know, being a support.
Yeah.
You know, because sometimes, you know, these college coaches come in, you know, they talk to you when you have players. That's the nature of the business.
Right.
But we kind of really developed a true relationship, you know what I'm saying, that went outside of just recruiting. And, you know, when I was going through trying to, you know, you got to be strong for the community, be strong for your team, you know, just be strong. But, you know, I had some real tough days where, you know what I'm saying, I was weak and I needed support. And those guys, man, they were calling me, checking on me.
Georgia Tech?
Georgia Tech. I mean, Coach Collins is just from that aspect alone is a dear friend of mine, somebody I hold dear to my heart just because of the compassion he showed. He put everything else to the side and was just, you know, really calling me, are you good?
Right.
Are you good? You know, there was a couple of guys, you know, in the business that did that. T-Rob at Miami was one of my guys, called and checked on me, actually recommended, you know, a therapist for me. South Carolina.
Right.
So, you know, it's different, you know, with those kind of situations. You know, we were up at Georgia Tech, you know, just being able to get out on college tour, hadn't been out, and seeing coaches, you know, everybody. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years, and I want to, you know, just get up and publicly kind of, you know, thank them in front of my kids and their entire staff. And man, it got so emotional to I kind of broke down, man. It was a beautiful thing for my kids to see, you know, me having compassion. They need to see me cry. They need to see that I care enough about this and what these guys did for me. And, But that's how men, you know, that's how we need to learn to be more comfortable interacting in that manner. So. No, it was a blessing. It was a real family atmosphere.
Yeah, we was raised not to cry, man. What you think the people did to us, man?
I don't know, man. They made it rough for us, man. They made it rough for us.
We was raised not to show nothing, bro.
They made it rough for us.
Well, let nobody see you cry with their weakness, man. All of that, man. They ain't got other people right holding all this pain.
I'm telling you, man. Young guys, man, especially crying in front of your lady, it's an aphrodisiac. Look that up. You don't know that, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to cry tonight.
Yeah. Y'all stop being so rough. Rough between the lines. Outside the lines, smooth it out, young fellas.
So listen, so for the people who don't know what we're talking about, Bryce Gowdy is the young kid, he committed suicide. That was what, 2 years ago now?
Coming up on a little bit over 2 years, I guess 2 years. Yeah.
When you think back, Coach, any signs? Any?
Towards the end, you know, he was having, you know, maybe separation issues. He was worried about, you know, his mom and his brothers.
Yeah.
You know, he was kind of almost embarrassed at the fact that he was going to be moving to downtown Atlanta, Midtown, and be living good, and he was going to have to worry about them because their situation was really, really rough at the time.
That's rough, bro.
So he was trying to figure out ways to create, you know, revenue, create, you know, housing through his scholarship and his you know, Pell Grant and different things to be able to send back and help. So, you know, that was kind of things that myself, Coach Dixon, we were working through to be able to, you know, to create some things. And then obviously, we know the business and the NCAA, that there's certain things you can't do or shouldn't do.
Right.
But and when you come from where we come from, there's things that you got to do.
Right.
Like, you know, they probably would frown upon you sending back home money to mom to help pay for this or help pay for that.
Right.
But as you know, a lot of us, we grew up, we the men of the house, 9, 10, 11 years old. So if you the man of the house, you got to do what you got to do. You come up on some extra, you send that back, you make sure. So it was one of them things, kind of trying to guide them through, you know, how to do that and still be, you know, a legitimate amateur athlete and taking care of, because you got to take care of Georgia Tech. So,
right. And he started worrying. He was worried about that at the age of 17.
Yeah. He was like really worried. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, to the point where he was going to be having a graduation party. He's a mid-year grad. A bunch that class, a bunch of them were leaving early. They had just had the signing day and everything. And Jaylin Rooster, who's at Miami, he and I were going to the Under Armour All-American game. But Bryce's party was going to be like the second practice. So Jaylin missed his flight, and I ended up having to take him to Orlando instead of staying for the party and then going up. And when he found out I wasn't there, he called me. It was the night before he committed suicide, as a matter of fact. He's like, Coach, man, I thought you were going to be here for the party. He was at Aiden Henningham's party was that day.
Right.
Who's at Pitt now. And I'm like, man, listen, I'm going to be there. I don't care if Mickey Mouse could be on the field. If it's time to go, I'm going to come.
Man, Superman over here, man.
You got to do what you got to do, man. But like I tell people in our community, like if my kids in my program, they don't get something, they don't know the superintendent of Broward County. They don't know the principal's phone number. If it didn't happen, it was Coach Glenn didn't make it happen.
Right.
So if they know, if I said I was going to do something and I didn't, they know, boy, some real stuff went down. Coach couldn't come through. Because Coach one of them guys. He an all-in kind of guy. So
yeah. Listen, but me and you sat down to talk, and me and you sat down to talk about an hour, 2 hours after I shot the Philip O'Brien thing, and all of this you just said you do for the community. You know what I'm saying? And I started talking to you, and I was like, listen, why don't we talk to parents about money? Like, why don't we talk to the kids and the parents about money and about the business of the things they're about to walk into? Why do we always take this position of, I'm gonna raise you, I'm gonna take you across the country, I'm gonna treat you like you're my son, but when it comes to money, it's yours.
Yeah.
And we send them to the wolves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we send them to the wolves, and somebody else may help them or take advantage of them. And I talked to you about that. Now this money thing is getting closer, and it's getting younger and younger. And us managing money and all of that stuff, and the wolves can get closer. The wolves are getting closer and closer to the kids now. I think it's time, bro. I think it's time that we start openly having these conversations about, you can have a lot of money, and Puffy said it could make a lot of problems if you have no clue what to do with money. How you feel about that situation?
Oh man, I totally agree. And then a lot of kids right now, especially with this new NIL and things that are going on, there are a lot of kids out there that are way behind the 8 ball. Yeah. There's some kids that have already destroyed their possibility of earning money from the name, image, and likeness because of the way they carry themselves out in society or on social media, or some of the things that they've associated themselves with. So especially at the high school level, it's grassroots. So we've got to, as high school coaches, and I was talking to a group of guys the other day. One of the biggest problems we have is in the profession of high school coaching, there's not a lot of professionals. Right. So got a lot of guys that don't really take it as serious as it should be. Yeah. Like this is, like I tell my kids, at 16, 17 years old, somebody could do something to lead them in the wrong direction that could destroy their future, and they'll be, from a social standpoint and their future standpoint, they'll be dead right there and not even know it. They're just going through the rest of their life, participate in the failure, the act of failure. Right. You and I, we've got life experiences, so things can happen to us. We've got the resource and the experience to bounce back, to shake off, to be able to make a U-turn. A lot of these guys, they're just going full steam ahead, and whether it's down the good road, bad road, they're just going. Right. And we've got to, as leaders, and leading these young men, because a lot of us, sometimes we are their father figures. So, I tell parents all the time when they drop the kids out to me, like, listen, I'm his dad. They know I'm like his dad. He with me, I'm his daddy. So I'm going to address whatever situation we have or whatever comes around, I'm going to address it just like his daddy. Like, I would never send my kid into somewhere with no financial literacy. I'm talking my own personal kid. Right. If I give my kid $20, I want to know how you broke that $20 down. That's exactly so, we got to be that detailed, with these kids. Then we got to create genuine relationship with parents so that you can have those difficult conversations. Right. A lot of times I think guys are uncomfortable because maybe they don't know the parent, like they're worried about how, I asked her about, what kind of money he gonna be making. She might transfer. I don't care nothing about none of that. But then my reputation precedes me, so they know, I'm coming from a good place. But do I get 100% parents that come in and they get, guys need Deerfield too. Yeah. Well, we probably one of the only schools in South Florida. We had some couple guys transfer out and then call to transfer back.
What?
Yeah, it's crazy. I won't say names, but he transferred back, ended up becoming a Division I player. Yeah. I never hold against the kids because kids, they're going to make mistakes. Now, his daddy, I don't mess with his daddy. Because you grown,
He transferred out. How long the span of time this was?
A year. He left out in the spring because he was told it was going to be better. He could be the man. He can do this. He can do that. And when they got over there, it wasn't like that. The passion, but he saw that the little things that make Deerfield different, they weren't evident at the place he was at.
Yeah.
And he went maximum against his dad. Said, "Cause I'm finna move my mom if I got to, but I'm coming back."
So tell me this, as a parent, right? Deerfield's always loaded with talent.
Mm-hmm.
As a parent, how would you navigate that? Like, how would you navigate? Okay, I got a son. He may be a D1 player, me maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
How would you navigate the fact that, okay, I'm sitting in the Deerfield, he in 10th grade, oh, he ain't on the field. There's some linebackers in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
How would you navigate, as a parent, how would you navigate? Because as a coach, I know it's sort of, it's tough. It's like, hey, listen, man, this is what it's going to be. Y'all going to fight for a position. We're going to create a depth chart, and that is what it will. But as a parent, how would you navigate that?
You got to be, truthful and trust in the experience of the development, within the program. So, you can go somewhere. I had 1 year where, we run a 3-4 defense. I had 6 Division I D linemen. And I'm not talking, little school, I'm talking 2 at Oregon, West Virginia, Georgia State had 2. Yeah. But because, as a coach, you got to figure out a way to be able to get these kids opportunities. And then as coaches, and some of us, we just do a bad job. There are ways. Yeah. Like there are ways where you can kind of conjure up, highlight tape, conjure up opportunities if you're really trying to get that young man. Like I said, when I had Jeudy, Jeudy is the dude. He already got everything. We're going to win the game, get Jeudy, and then Jeudy going to help me get, that year I had 5 receivers go Division I. Leroy Henley, Jeudy, David Davis, Panise McCoy, who's the leading receiver at Georgia State right now. Deshaun Davis was on that team. Who's at App State. Like we had dudes, but they trust in the fact that coach gonna get it going. Then you have honest conversations with parents. So some parents would think as a receiver you got to have 100 catches and be the man and lead to stay in anybody. And Jeudy had 47 catches, but them 47 was remarkable. You know what I'm saying? It's what you do with it. Right. But you got to be somewhere where people understand how to do that. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just now with those couple examples. I'm showing you how we get 5 or 6 receivers on the same team at the level. 5 or 6 D linemen. Another year we had linebackers with Rosendo Lewis, with South Carolina, Kenny Bastida. So you're talking 5 or 6 linebackers because you got to be strategic and where you're presenting the opportunity. You got to be real. And then also too, if you tell a kid, the best player is going to win. I'm going to tell the guy who has the best combination of on-field talent, off-field social skills, acceptance, academics. Those are the guys who are going to play. Like they say, do you have favorites? Yeah, I like guys that do things the right way. Right. I love them. Yeah, I favorite them. It is what it is. So, but when you tell kids that it's open competition, you got to be honest with you. You got to be true. So that way you can always come back, whether their parents get mad, whether they get. I can say, I told you that. Like if you think about transferring Deerfield, we're gonna have that conversation before you come in here. Like I tell my kids, it's almost like we have a sheet of paper. If you sit down with me and say, this is what I want to do, coach, we're gonna sit down, mom, dad, player. This is what I want to do. Right. As long as you stay on this piece of paper that we all decide and say this is what we wanted, you're gonna be okay with me. If you get a milli-inch off that paper, I'm wilding out like you 10 miles off the paper. It's the same thing. So listen, man, let's have the conversation. You said y'all ran a 3-4 and you had 6 D1 D linemen. Yeah. I'm a parent, right? Yeah. I come to you, I sit down, my kid's D1 D lineman. I'm telling you, coach, listen, I see you got 5 D1 D linemen already. Like, how does my kid fit into this? You tell me what. Well, now it depends. Now, if the 5 I got, if he's young, then you want to try it. But I want to tell somebody too, like, listen, I saw your son, he ain't like these animals either. Yeah. So, and I'm open up to have that conversation. Right. And some guys or parents that think their kid are better than what they are. Like you tell a coach like that? Yeah. You never had to fight nobody? No. I'm Coach Glenn till 7, but I'm fight 701. So you hit Coach Glenn in his fight time. You got to deal with that too. So you talking to him straight like that? Yeah, you got to, because I think people. I don't think a lot of people know how to do that, coach. Yeah, that's what it is, because they're not comfortable. You had to develop that skill somewhere. So I don't think enough people know how to. I developed that. That's when fight kicks in. You got to be able to talk to people, but. I think people can deal with when you're upfront and you're honest with them. Right. But when you lie to them and you're going around the corner and having roundabout conversations, that's what makes people feel a certain kind of way. Right. But when you're honest with, I've had a dad before say, I think my kid should be out there. I think he's ready. I say, well, the problem is you watching him go against second and third stringers in practice and you feeling good across the gate. My son balling. I said, when you come out here tomorrow, because when we play Buford and we play Grayson, they ain't gonna put their second string against your son. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let him go against them boys. Right. And so when I line him up against them boys, and when I go tell him when he's going against, listen here, he think he D1, and you say you D1, ain't no prisoner. So if he supposed to get driven through that gate better come down, ready, break. And when I blow the whistle, daddy gonna see, a lot of people gonna be informed. And his daddy come out there and say, can you get him off my son? Because it gotta be real.
I would say ready break.
Yeah, we ain't got all that motivational Rudy. Nah, we ain't gonna do all that. We just go. It is what it is.
I mean, no. Listen, I mean, I see that's unique.
Yeah.
Because most coaches recruit and they roundabout talk. Not necessarily lie. They recruit. They roundabout talk. And I guess, but telling somebody.
But I'll tell you this too, because we know obviously recruiting is illegal. But some of the programs like myself, people are giving Miami Central flack right now. When you do it the right way and you have the production, you don't have to recruit. They come to you. If I was to show you my inbox right now, and it'll be some name, you'd be like,
to get that camera.
Yeah.
Now listen.
You do it the right way, the program is going to recruit itself.
It's like anything.
Yeah.
When you're successful, you're on top of your game, people will come to you.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you think that coach got some of these yellow shirts out here going door to door.
Yeah, you don't have to do that.
And you don't have to do that when you're winning and you're doing things the right way.
And then from a professional standpoint, just like if you got a son, all right, and he's wanting to get in karate, all right, you going to take him to be trained by a Karate Kid or Mr. Miyagi?
Right, Mr. Miyagi. Right.
Some of us are Miyagis. I'm not bashful about that.
Right.
Fight Miyagi.
Fight Miyagi?
Yeah.
No, listen. That's conversation to have. That what you just said. Did you say to parents certain things like tell them straight?
Yeah.
No, that's a split second because you can miss telling them that right there, and it turns into something else.
Yeah, it turns into something else.
It turns into expectations. It turns into coach lied to me.
And I won't try to act like I had it, the whole time I was coaching. But when I first got into coaching JV basketball and things of that nature, you learn from experiences.
Right.
Like, listen, you get in a situation where you probably should have told that parent, because especially with basketball, it's definitely it's even more feverish. Like they be having, because the money come quicker. So they thinking they can get paid so quick, you holding them back. And then you look at them like, bro, this kid ain't like that. We played ball, so we was done real balls that didn't make it. So, I kind of learned. I say, you know what? I ain't gonna ever have that uncomfortable conversation where I didn't tell them at front. And then also too, I'm willing enough to trust my eye, where I can say, because some guys you don't want to tell him he's not bad because he may sprout up and be, 6'6", or he may get better.
I was just about to ask you.
Yeah, no, we talking about right now today.
Right.
No, you gotta, if you want to just keep getting the evaluation, you got to keep coming every day.
Right.
Yeah, because but let's allow it on both ends. Like if he 5'2" and 130, he can't play D-line right now.
Right.
Now if next Thursday he's 6'2" and 280, he can play. So you want to talk every day, or this gonna be it? We got to figure that out.
I was just gonna ask you. I was gonna be like, you ever was wrong?
I missed on one kid.
Talk to me.
I'll say his name now because he's doing good. He actually became a really good kid. I know his dad really, really well. He just transferred the corner from Kentucky to Purdue. I went to Ely. What's his last name? Jamari. Big bite. He was at Coral Glades before he went to Ely over with Rose Green.
How you miss? What's the story?
They called me from Coral Glades wanting to come, but his film was bad.
Yeah.
It was, and I had guys, and I'm like, man, I don't, he just, and then he wasn't, he got Rose Green, and Rose Green gonna get that body right.
Right.
So, but what I was looking at couldn't play at Deerfield. But by the time he got to Ely with Rose Green and started working, and I looked at him, and then when I figured out, because me and his dad used to, run around together, we from the same circle, and his mom, and I was like, damn, he was out there playing against us, and I told Jamari Brown. See, Jamari used to play for Purdue right now. Shout out Jamari Brown, that's my dude too. So we communicate, and I check on him too, just because he's family. But I didn't know all that stuff then. But I told my DB coach we were out there playing. I was like, damn, like that. Yeah, that's one I missed on that one. And that was me, because my DB coach saw it, and I was like,
your DB coach did want him.
Yeah, my DB coach wanted him. I mean, he was big. He was just lanky, rangy, and then. And I don't want to sound like I'm kicking Coral Glades, because my guy, shout out to Coach Caneville, said Coral Glades.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
He wasn't.
I had him at one weekend at the one-on-ones out there, and I know exactly who you're talking about. So you didn't take him?
No, I didn't take him. I didn't take him. I mean, I missed on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take that one to the grave.
How far is Deerfield from St. Thomas and American Heritage?
Probably in what mileage?
In mileage, yeah. Let's drive a 30-minute drive, 10-minute drive.
Not probably about 15
minute drive.
15 and 20 maybe to American Heritage.
Yeah.
Yeah, 15 to St. Thomas.
American Heritage, St. Thomas. People like to say they wipe Dillard. They wipe Dillard and Boyd Anderson out. Basically, they kind of changed it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Changed. How do you feel about the private school thing, the IMG schools, and all of that stuff that's coming in? Do you feel the public schools? Because I'm gonna say this: across the country, private schools kind of run it in a lot of countries. When you gotta go across the country.
Yeah.
Us down here, we
Not
have
in
such,
Miami.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like we still have so much public
Yeah.
school pride down here.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. 'Cause we have public school pride up in Broward as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, and coaches, they know. I tell them to their face. Some of these coaches need to step their game up in Broward, just from a standpoint. Like,
Say it
you
again.
know,
Say it.
some of these coaches at the public schools got to step their game up. It is what it is. I mean, when I first got the job, people used to be telling me about, well, you know, St. Thomas doing this. I was like, look, listen, bump all that. I'm finna dive into what I got to be doing. I can look over there and see, okay, they doing that right there. How can I do it over here? I know they got the money, they got the resources. I'm gonna go out and get money. I'm gonna go out and get resources.
Right.
But some of them, they don't have that push. And then as a parent, you know, you got to do what's best for your kid. That's being a good parent. It ain't being a good, you keeping it real with the hood. I'm gonna send my kid here because I went here, my daddy went here, my uncle went here. If that ain't being what's best for your kid, you've been a horrible parent.
Right.
Like, you know, DCF should be able to come get you for that, to send them to some of these schools. So it is these coaches, they got to step it up.
Right.
Like, and so in my little circle, we're trying to, not only do I want to be successful in my realm in the public school, I want to help create other coaches to get in their realm and do, you know what I'm saying, really, really well with these kids. Because we've got to provide more. Like, nobody wants to feel like they're going somewhere and it's a downgrade, they're settling. All right, so we show up places at Deerfield. A lot of times people think Deerfield is like Buckhead, Atlanta. They think we rich, you know, black. Cause we gonna pop out.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. But that's just, you know, that's one of these things. Then you gotta be in tune, you know, with your kids, with your community, and, you know, really going in and establishing, you know what I'm saying, what's really real, what's a need, you know, what's very, very important to us as a program, as a community, as a team, as a school, and then what's superficial. And then, you know, you get guys and it buys in. Because I've got parents, well, I'm coaching their fourth son now.
Uh-huh.
So, you know, after, 16 years of being at the school, so I'm kind of entrenched with
Right.
a lot of guys. So that helps me as well. But we've got to step it up. So, you know, another thing that helped, you know, the public schools too, the private schools, you know, when St. Thomas fell back to the pack, their boosters or alumni probably was, you know, worried about rationing out so much money. So that's when, you know, Dillard and other guys were strong. They were good. It was really, really competitive. And
Right.
you get youth school come in, and, you know, but they're taking the charter school money, and they're being resourceful. Like, I'm not one of those guys that knock them for what they're doing.
Right.
They're taking, you know, what the hand they were dealt, and they're making the best hand out of it.
Right.
And that's what, you know, they're supposed to do. But we're supposed to do the same thing. Okay, so now you learn how to use your resources. Use your magnet program. All right, you use different things, and then you got to go out and be resourceful with your actual resources while trying to go out and create more. So that's why, you know, sometimes in public school you get strapped with cash, strapped with money, and then you can be enticed to take money from individuals or from situations or entities that aren't really good for you because they're going to want some control over your program.
Uh-huh.
See, I'm one of those I don't have to do that.
Right.
So no matter what the bill may be, I don't have to take it from a bad source. Like,
Right.
I got sources that I brought with me from the realm that I came from,
Uh-huh.
and they're just proud of the things that I'm doing and so on. So I can go there and get it. It don't matter.
They just want to help the kids.
They just want to help the kids. They know when if they turn it over to me or to my program, they know what I'm gonna do with it.
Right.
Because I was a stand-up guy in business. You know what I'm saying? Usually I was a stand-up guy in the street. I'm a stand-up guy.
Right.
So
How many kids you got in your program?
I wanted to ask
You want to ask them something? Go.
Yeah, so earlier you talked about coaches being professional.
yes.
And what you were just talking about, is it that like a lot of these public schools rely on little league coaches to come and bring them talent? Like that's starting to go on a lot.
Yeah, it's starting to go on a lot because a lot of these coaches, they think that's a quick fix. You know, you get the little league coaches, they're gonna bring the kids, but you still gotta develop the kids when they get there. You still gotta know, like, I mean, they're guys that are coaches of high school programs that have been prominent that don't even know how many core classes the kids need to graduate from high school.
Right.
They don't know about the 7 and 10 rule. They don't know you got to have all the summer school stuff done before the first day of school of his senior year. But
Right.
you somebody head coach. So you sat in somebody's living room with their mama and their daddy and said, I got them, and you don't even know what you're doing.
Right.
All right, and then you bring in other guys that don't know what they're doing. So now it's just a group of a cluster of bad guys. So I'm not seat sensitive at my program. I want to hire great coaches.
Right.
I want to hire coaches that quite possibly know more than me, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
So you know, I don't want to, you know, when I was being interviewed for the head coach, I was going to hire the guy, the second finalist that came down. It was me and Derek Cruder, former quarterback at University of Miami, and went to Deerfield because he's good as, you know, he's good offensively.
Really?
He's good structure-wise. He's really, really good. Maybe from when the principal made the decision, I think I had on him. I had been there. I had stepped in and started running it. I had a connection. I had a community. But from a football standpoint, like, if you base it on just football, he was the better guy for the job. But Deerfield needed so much more than a football X and O at the time.
Right.
So but I was gonna hire him as my offense coordinator. He ended up getting a position somewhere else where he had taken it, but he ended up having another opportunity that was a little bit better.
Like I think one of the recruiters at Alabama.
Yeah. So he got some more opportunity to move around, but that's what I mean. Some guys to be like, nah, I ain't gonna hire him because he went to Deerfield. Then if it start going bad, they gonna say they won't recruit. I want to win. I want to provide the best opportunity for these kids to be successful. Right. And if it's true to being an offensive coordinator, that's what it's gonna be. And at the end of the day, if I'm messing up that bad and it's time for me for Crew to take over, I'm okay with that.
Right.
Like I never been one of them guys. Like I tell you now, like I do laundry at my schools. That's when kids don't turn in a sock, that's me that's coming in there. I need that because I'm teaching them everything is important. Everything. So
man, everywhere, man.
Hey.
That's funny. You do laundry at the school, coach?
Yeah, I do laundry. I got a load waiting on me right now. You're gonna wait till I get back.
Yeah, I was just about to say before or after game over.
No, after game over, it's gonna be. I put some fabric soft in there. They won't know it's been sitting there that long.
How many coaches you got on your staff? Like it be
JB and Boston, we like 20, 24, 25.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many kids you got in the program?
I go 120, 122.
I grew up in Dade, you know what I'm saying? Footballville started in Dade. People started saying because it started getting so big, man, you biased, you'll never come to Broward. I'd be like, dog, gas money costs like it's reason I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like it ain't that I don't like Broward. Like I grew up in Dade, I ain't rich.
Yeah, Broward, y'all build a relationship. My man came to see me at Deerfield. I'm down. I'm coming down to see him now. That's how it works. The barter system.
Right. And they always thought it's like I had this thing for Dade, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't really there. It's just like I was comfortable there, and that's where my resources. My resources kind of kept me. I started moving into Broward. It was weird to me. I started realizing, like, all the kids wanted to play for Deerfield, and it didn't matter what y'all had. It's like you could have had Rooster. They wanted to come play for Deerfield, and I realized it just was the culture that you had created.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying? You created a culture, and they all want to stand up for Deerfield, and that's when I kind of got close to Philip, and we came down and sat down and talked to you, and we had a conversation. We started talking, and we made the rapport. Tell me this. I don't know the answer to this question. Is coaching in Dade equal to coaching in Broward as far as rules and things you can do with your staff? Is it the same?
See, I don't know much about days. Like, with us, we only can get 6 stipends. I mean, it's hard anywhere in Florida just because of the pay is, so low. And then when you're asking a man to leave his family for, 8 months out of the year, 6 to 8 hours after he worked, so you're talking 20, 25 hours a week for no pay just to volunteer. You got to make sure you're finding like-minded individuals that are still professional, that are going to be good mentors. So it's a lot. So it's hard to find, guys like that. So that's why even when people say, at Deerfield, y'all got a lot of coaches. Dang, y'all got a lot of coaches. Like, you should be proud that we have that many men of quality, of character around these young guys. And then, so we've got a mix of guys. We've got, the OG coach who doesn't really do a lot of X and O's or day-to-day, but he's been there, done that. He might can tell you how to start an LLC and how to, save money and get a bank account. And then, we've got other young coaches that put their cliques on and get out there and run the route while they dictating and showing you. And then we got guys everywhere in between. So, all the guys serve different purposes. Right. And then some of it is not football. Like, you got to have guys that step in and fill different kind of roles. Something may be good as, the guy that has got to wait and give a guy somebody who's good with social aspect of it. Right. So, I've got one of my coaches that deals with, when we have a kid, the Bryce Gowdy situation, or, hey, my mama light bill off, like, the kids have somebody they can go to for, that different as well as me. Because at the end of the day, they'll say, well, the rules say, you shouldn't help a kid out. But as a man, like, if you play for me and, your lights off, you ain't took a bath Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but on Friday, I expect you to get out here and give me everything you got. It don't work like that. Right. So, some of the rules that are in black and white that are skewed, they're outdated. Like, you're dealing, and then it's individual. So, I spend a lot of times dealing with the county trying to make sure, I'm informed or in line with FHSA rules and Broward County rules. But at the end of the day, a lot of times I'm going to err on, what's right for my kids. We'll deal with the repercussions after that. Right. No. And it's bad because a lot of times the people in those positions don't understand. They don't understand. They've never been there. They've never, come home and, is cold. Like I know what it feels like for my mom to be heating the whole house with the oven. Have the oven on. Like those are things that you got to smell like gas for it to be warm.
My girlfriend grew up in Pembroke Pines, man, and I tell her my lights was off for a week, and she be like, "What you mean your light?" I'm like, "What do you mean? What I mean my light was off? They was off. We was cooking on Sternos. My light was off for a week when I was a kid." And she think I'm lying. She like, "Stop lying."
Nah, it's different
like,
now, man.
Nah, man, but I also had to realize also that it's not her fault. She didn't have to grow up like me, and I kind of learned from her. She learned from me.
Yep.
But no, man, a lot of time it's a disconnect between the kids, where they're coming from, and trying to talk to those people who you're talking about in these other places.
And that ties into recruitment. That's why I say as well with my guys that I have on my staff, we want to make sure they can connect with the kids. Because if you can't connect with the kids, you can't, really get the most out of them. And then with recruiting now, so you got some kids that just go somewhere because it's a big, logo. It's a big school. They play on TV.
Yeah.
But those people that are in that building, you don't have any kind of connection with. So all you can get is football. But if you signed up for that, then don't call me complaining about it. Because I have some kids that they need to go to HBC. They need to go be around, solid black coaches, black men, and show them how to be a solid black man. So I've got others that can go wherever, anywhere in the country and be successful. But you got to develop, seriously, and then individualize it. Like I don't coach Joe the same way I coach Johnny.
Right.
I don't coach Johnny the same way I coach Larry.
Yeah.
We got to individualize so that we can have. So when I sit down and tell them, man, you probably, Bama might not be a good place for you. You might need to go to Miami or something. Then we're gonna have real reasons on why. And sometimes it's not football.
Right.
Like that. If you a D lineman, whoever the D line coach is at that university you think about, that better be somebody you have a real good rapport, a good relationship with, and you better like his family. Because when y'all have bowl games, you're gonna be eating dinner with him and his wife and his kid. That's who you're gonna be spending the most time
right.
with. You know what I'm saying? So you can love the big time head coach, but your time with him is gonna be very short lived. That position coach, even the area recruiter, they're gonna come down here. They're gonna be at Deerfield every week, and they're gonna be loving you up and all that. If you don't play his position when you get back, he might see you once a week.
I think me and X was just talking about it. I was talking to somebody about that, about the position coach.
No,
the position coach is the one that.
That's the one. That's the one that it's gotta be the connection. It's gotta be the fit.
The beginning of recruiting season, man. I think you tweeted out or something saying that, man, you weren't partaking in fake offer season.
Yeah.
Man, what is fake offer season?
But you
talk about?
You got guys that are pressed. So let's say, I got a good kid and I don't want him to transfer. We looking kind of sorry, whatever. So I'm gonna get him a bunch of fake offers. I'm gonna call some friends and load him up. He gonna look like he loaded.
You're talking about high school coaches.
Yeah.
Keeping kids.
Yes.
So basically, the kid want to leave, and then he say, "Hey, man, fam offers you."
Yeah.
Okay, go talk to me.
Yeah, things of that nature.
Yeah.
And it had got so crazy. Now you got guys that played JV. Didn't start, but they got Power 5 offers. They got the so now I'm not gonna participate in it, but I'm gonna call that coach and be like, all right now. So yeah, I'm struggling. I'm telling you about a kid that's a Power 5 that's got the film, I've been there, and you offered a kid that played Little League last year. So when you come to Deerfield, you don't get to come off. We're gonna talk in the parking lot.
So you saying you weren't gonna play that game?
Nah, we ain't gonna play the game. Because I tell my kids we're gonna live in our truth. Like we're gonna earn it. Because at the end of the day, if somebody give you something, that's because it doesn't hold a whole lot of value to them. So like I tell my guys, like my little van that I drive, if they need to drive that to the store, they can drive that. So when I pull up in that 75 vert, ain't nobody getting in that. That's value. That's me right there. If you get in that, if you see one of my kids driving that, Coach Glenn love him. That's that dude right there.
What it is, a 75
vert, man.
What color it is?
It's in the shop now. I'm going to frame up. Shout out my boy Nava from Pompano. They put a lot of pressure on us in Sim 1. You got to go back through you.
You got to send us a picture of it, man.
Yeah, I'm, man.
They ain't getting that.
They can't. Nah, they can't ride. But when they know when I pull up in that though, it's on. I need everything, baby. I'm shining. Now everybody got to shine.
Now, see, the offer thing is so crazy because you tell a kid that, and then once he posts it on Instagram, it's almost like he has to live that through.
Yep.
And
some
even when they
kids aren't
find
ready
out,
for that.
I've seen it, Coach, man.
Yeah.
Even when they find out it's a lie,
Yep.
they don't back off of it.
Nah.
I've seen the kid take it right to the door. He had 20 offers, and he had none.
Yeah, because they put themselves so far out there. I saw it was a story. One year a kid went all the way up to actually going through a signing day for Mississippi and didn't have an offer from Mississippi.
Yeah.
I think it was somewhere out of town. But these kids are faced with a lot of peer pressure. Some they bring on themselves, some from the status that they have as athletes here in South Florida. So sometimes they get to a point where they think there's no walking it back, and then that's why we got to be able to step in and you can't. One of the biggest things that coaches I think do wrong, you know, with the young student athlete, male or female, is they play the goody two shoes role. Like they never made a mistake. They never been there. But if you portray that image to these kids, when they have a mistake, you're not going to be somebody they think they can go to because you're perfect. You know, you ain't never had to shake back. You know, so.
Boy, say that again. Parents do that too.
Parents do that too. Parents
Mom's
do that
good
too.
for that, boy.
Yes,
Yeah, look at
yes.
that mom. Yeah, mom.
We talk about it all the time around the office. We call it my baby syndrome. And
Yeah.
it be daddies, mamas, they have my baby syndrome.
Right.
When it's my baby, like I can sit here and tell you, hey, listen, mom, he is in the bank right now with the gun, really robbing. She trying to figure out a way how it ain't his fault. So, you know, you have some parents that are like that, but we got to be able to nurture them through that. But, you know, these kids, you want them to be able to have valuable and feasible outlets that they can go to and get information.
Right.
So, like, when we were younger, you know, a lot of times, let's just say even in the streets, like when I was younger, the guys in the streets, they say, okay, well, Fife play ball, Fife a good student, whatever. When Fife gonna come around, we all know him because we know his whole family. But when we doing our thing, Fife got to go.
Right.
Like this ain't for you. They'd rather say Fife, here man, hey go, you $50. You ain't gotta be trying to hustle. You go do the school thing, whatever. It's not like that now. Now these guys that are out here on these blocks, they're inviting these kids in. They're actively enrolling them in the foolishness.
Right.
That's why we got so many kids that should be, you know what I'm saying. And then I'm not a NFL or bus guy. I'm a free education guy.
Yeah.
So many guys that should be able to go off, use football to be able to get a bachelor's degree, to get a master's degree, even sometimes just getting out of Miami, getting out of Deerfield, just to get the social aspect of it. Even if you don't get a degree, go see it's something different.
Right.
It's something totally different. You ain't got to be, you know, what everybody else was. You ain't got to be, you know, what your cousin was, what your brother was. You can be, you know what I'm saying, something different, but you got to go out and be able to go see it.
Right. You have to actually, because a lot of kids ain't seen nothing.
Yeah, man. We go on college tours sometime, man. The kids be, you know, they be wild because they hadn't been past Hillsborough Boulevard.
Dang.
So, you know what I'm saying, when they leave, like a guy like Rooster and G-Mon that went to Oregon, I had them when they were puppies, you know, 8th grade. So I was taking them with me then. So I think they were up over 100 unofficial visits when they left Deerfield.
Yeah.
Because they did 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade summer. We popping 26, 27, 30 schools in summer. They was everywhere.
Where'd you mind that now?
G-Mon's at McNeese State.
McNeese State.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw that the
Yep.
other day. You mind gonna be fine, man?
He's gonna be fine, man. You know, he had to struggle with some decisions that he made that put him in, you know, bad predicaments. But the same thing, that's my boy. So I ain't gonna let him, you know, falter. I'm gonna tell him when he's wrong. I'm telling him when he's right. And then, you know, we're gonna be able to, because of the relationship that we have, you know, we can have hard conversations. Because I'm not and I tell my guy, I'm not a yes man.
Right.
Like but I always been that way. Like when you were with me and my player, you know, I told you the truth. I'm not gonna tell you what you want to hear. But I'm also, they know too, I'm gonna come to save you. I'm gonna use my resource to help give you opportunities.
See, it was rough for him at first, right?
Yeah,
and then
but-
he came up out of that and changed his life, right?
Yeah, like
And
a lot
got
of
it
people
together.
don't know his story, man.
Right.
That kid, you know, you talking about guy that doesn't know his dad, no relationship with his dad, was raised by his grandparents and grandma. Mom was in federal prison, still is to this day. Grandfather, you know, he was making it. Coach Mike was helping him out. Coach Mike brought him to me, and we kind of put together a plan for him. We still had grandfather was the rock of their family. Grandfather ended up passing, took him on a real emotional toll.
Yeah.
But we were still keeping him on track, on path, fighting. But this is a kid who graduated Deerfield early in December with a 3.6
I
GPA.
remember, I was so proud of him.
Like a great
Because I
student.
remember.
In spite of all
Right.
the turmoil going
Right.
around him, like G-Mon lived in what we call in Deerfield, the 20 hole. That's
What's that, Twan? You know, it's
rough. 20 hole is rough.
I know.
So I mean, he's a diamond at Griffin Conquest. I love him to death. I'm proud of. I'm as proud of him at McNeese State as I was if he was at Oregon. Same thing.
I know. I saw him turn it around and
Yep.
turn into a responsible young man at the end.
He's graduated, got his AA degrees, about to get his bachelor's degree in December, and then by him getting those credit, he'll have a master's degree before he leaves McNeese State. So, I mean, I tell guys at Deerfield, we stack our W's in the same pile. So, I mean, the Jeudy W for playing for the Broncos is not over there in a case and engraved. It's in the same pile. The guy that graduated from BCC, the guy that's just a good father, the guy that works at Publix Warehouse, doing this thing is one pile of W's. Just get in the pile.
That's a good way to put that, man. How many players you got in the NFL right now? Can you name some of them? You got Jeudy, you know.
Yeah, we got Jeudy. We got Riley Ridley at Chicago.
Riley.
Brandon Powell at Buffalo Bills. Aaron Robinson's rookie at New York Giants this year. Jason Strowbridge, Miami Dolphins. James Pierre, Pittsburgh Steelers. Who am I missing? JPP is not my player. He was the first year when I got there, but he a Beach Boy.
Right.
So we got JPP, Super Bowl champ. Shout out to JPP. Tampa Bay. So we're the number one public school in the country for active NFL players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When Jerry Jeudy left Alabama, you told me you weren't really happy about how they dealt with him.
Yeah.
Dealt with him. Talk to me about that. About what did you see? Eventually he got drafted.
Yeah, he got drafted. I think because I think they stereotyped him and typecast that he was just typical.
Man.
But me knowing Jeudy, I know him inside out.
Yeah.
I know he's so much more than just a football player.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Judy's got a great personality. He's got a heart, biggest goal.
Yeah.
He can really, and I have no doubt that when he's done taking care of his day job with football, he's going to be able to champion so many others, youth, to be able to be excellent in different arenas.
Yeah.
It's not just you can see him when he's at parks and working out. Just the charisma that he has, the pull, and the gravity to it.
Teddy Bridgewater effect.
Yeah,
Like he can
it's
come
natural,
back. Yeah,
and it's not fake. Teddy got it. Like I see Teddy. Like you can see guys that just have that naturally. So now, as older men, I don't care what color you are, white, black, Asian, whatever. It's on us to be able to go and take another young man and be able to help him enhance those natural abilities and tools that he has, and be able to use it for good. Mm-hmm. Because, one thing what people don't understand, like this society we live in is competitive. You got to always be, understanding of that. So the same way that, we want this kid to come in and do well in school, do well in football, and be good. There's destruction and deviance that'll fight for his attention as well. Right. So I used to tell my guys too, like my coaches, some of them I say, hey man, we got to be in active daily competition with the dope boys, with the scammers, with all that. Are they trying to get his attention? To be on this chain, to be on this car, you got to find a way to be getting his attention, pull it back, fight for it.
Yeah.
All right, fight for his attention too. All right, whatever you got to do, fight for it. If you say you really love him, that's your guy. You really want to see him succeed. Why you ain't fighting for him? Right. And that's one thing about me. I'm gonna fight for him.
Man, you just set this bar so high, man. People gonna watch this, man. You just set the bar so high when it comes to coaching, because it's not about coaching, though.
No, it's not. It's so minute. At the end of the day, let's be honest about it. A guy can go on YouTube and say, I want to be a linebacker coach. Google all the top linebacker coach. Get the drills, get the vernacular, get the outfit, all that, and come show up at your school and be your linebacker coach, and you would be thinking, he gonna send him D1. You know what I'm saying? But that's all he giving him is football.
Yeah.
All right. So and then you got to be able to go in and be able to reach that. I never tell anybody that I'm an X and O guru. I could go in, I can out scheme, I can do this. What I'm gonna tell you is, I am a master at getting the kid 14 to 19 years old to give me everything he got. And that's gonna be from the foundation of I'm gonna give him everything I got, and I'm gonna show him. It's mental sometimes. G-Mon Efa, coach, I want to go to Oregon. I'm thinking about it. Oregon say, well, we don't take guys unless they come out and do it unofficial. We just ain't gonna take a commitment. So okay, I know he want to go bad. So now this is my time where I can reach him. I can touch him now. I got 2 little vans out there in the back that I don't know how to drive no more. So the plane ticket is like $780, $800. So I tell G-Mon, okay, you really want to go to Oregon now? So you got to go to a visit. Like, this is blood money that I'm using to get you out here. So ain't no plan on my dime. Right. But I tell you what we're gonna do. Get in the car with me. We go to the junkyard down the street. Ask them how much they'll give me for a 1998 Town and Country Chrysler. They say $350, $375. Okay, G-Mon, give them the car. Give them the title. Okay, G-Mon, we get that $375. We go back to the school. We get the other title. Get that one. Take it back to them. How much you give us for a 98? Yeah. $375. Okay, G-Mon, that's $750. All right, I'm gonna give you $30. It's $780 round trip ticket. Like, where this money came from. It wasn't hustled. It wasn't nothing. This is actual resource that we use. Right. Go be great.
And that's how you went on.
That's how he went out. Oregon was unofficial. Went out there, loved it, committed, came back as official. So there's an expectation that our relationship is different.
Right.
So
why did you do it that way? Explain that. Break that down.
Because he needs to understand that people, when they love you, they make sacrifices for you. Yeah. Because I could still have been a great coach. People would have thought I was, hot shit if I didn't sell my vans and kind of just let him go somewhere else. But I'm asking a lot of him. When he comes in and he works out, he puts in time. I'm on my guys as hard academically as I am from a football standpoint. Mm-hmm. So I'm asking a lot of him. I'm demanding a lot of him. But I've got to actually be giving a lot too. So this whole coaching thing, you can't come in. It's 2021. So you can't come in with the mindset of, I'm the coach, I'm the adult, so you should just respect me. Respect should be actively earned on both ends. Right. Like, you need to be earning their respect as well. And that's when you have the different relationship. Uh-huh. And me and G-Man done got into it. Like, he done lost his mind on the field time, and I had that snap on him. But he realized, I tell my kids, I'm willing to go as far as I got to go for you to be successful. Because at the end of the day, we're going to get back to being successful, because that's what we signed up for on that paper. Right. And then my parents know that. Uh-huh. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, but you got to develop that, though. That's got to be nurtured, too. It can't be you get it and then you shut it down. I got him. Now, you got to be actively watering that seed.
Right.
You know, even when that seed becomes, it's just like a mango tree. You know, you watering it when you put that seed in the ground. You water it, now it's sprouting. You got a couple mangoes. You don't stop watering. That's all you wanted.
Right.
You wanted 3 mangoes, or you wanted to be the mango man.
Right.
I want to be the mango man. So I'm gonna keep watering. I'm gonna go out there and pull weeds. But that's nurturing the relationship. You got to do that with these kids, man.
I'm gonna tell you something funny, man. I think one night y'all was playing the playoff game. I can't remember who y'all was playing against. And y'all was y'all be in the little garage area.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a relationship with you there, right? Footballville, I'm up here in Deerfield. I didn't want to go do the Northwestern thing again. I think y'all was playing against Palm Beach that night when they had the kid with the dread.
Oh yeah.
And I'm standing outside the locker room. I'm like, man, if I can get in under this garage and get a shot, you know what I'm saying? This would be better for my video. So I'm standing out there like, I'm gonna pull the garage up and just walk in there. I'm Footballville. They ain't gonna say nothing. And I hear you in there talking. I'm like, nah, he don't know me like that. I ain't gonna walk in there. And I just stayed out there till y'all walked out with the hammer and y'all walked. And that was a great scene.
You family now. You can live up. That wouldn't have been good that day. That wouldn't have been good that day.
Right. But y'all walk out and G-Mon had the hammer in his hand and y'all walk to the field and those situations is why I started Footballville. People don't understand it. It's goofy artsy stuff on my behalf. But I drive to Deerfield and I stand outside the garage to catch you walking out in front of G-Mon and all of them. And I'm in front of you and I capture that. And I think then 10, 20 years from now when y'all can go back on YouTube and look at that, that's when people will realize. And the guys who really get it, man, you should appreciate Footballville for those things. Because sometimes we get so caught up in the moment and just the now. Like I had to, even like I'm telling you now, I'm going to be going on vacation. I had a passport that expired probably 15, 20 years because I was so focused on, I'm just in grind mode. Right. But I had a real conversation with a mentor of mine, and he kind of, and it's simple and it's true, but I never had looked at it that way. He said, you going so hard for the kids, for the program, for all that, you do know, if you die in this position, like they're gonna have probably gonna have a really good film. It's gonna be packed, and they're gonna do the parade. They're gonna put it in the stadium, all that. But they're gonna advertise the job Monday. Like, and when he kind of gave it, I know that consciously, but to hear it given out, and from the very next day, I was like, nah. I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm gonna keep going hard, but I'm gonna enjoy this process. I'm gonna make sure I'm taking care of me within it as well. It's the truth, man. Listen, man, y'all come back. We're gonna come back and wrap this thing up. Got a couple more things to ask you, man. Here with Coach Glenn, Footballville. Y'all hit like, share.
It's gonna take 3 motherfucking days, and that's what? It's big, bossy, one, shit.